PlayStation.
Good morning and welcome to the land of long live play where greatness is always waiting. Welcome to the PlayStation experience. It is I, as always, your boy Dat Ninja Dev, and I'm joined by my main man down in Florida, Mr. Devon Cox. How are you doing this fine Sunday?
Doing good so far. No hiccups or anything like that. So I'm in a great mood if you base it off of that.
Yes, you look good, you sound good, things are moving and shaking. And hopefully we don't have any other technical difficulties. We're starting on time. All things are good.
We're also having Donnie tweet out that we're apparently recording Sweet Hangs right now when we went live.
No, I think that's just... It's not...
It's okay. Rebecca already called him on it too.
How dare you?
Well,
Rebecca was like, Donnie, you really got to fix this, LOL.
Oh, that's
I think that message like auto generates anytime the Twitch channel goes live.
Yeah, it's pretty much an auto thing, but
yeah,
whatever. It is what it is. What up, Rebecca? She's in the chat. How's it going?
That other voice. Can't see Twitch chat, so
it's always broken.
I'll just believe everything Dev says.
There you go.
Vin Diesel's also in the chat. Say hi to Vin Diesel. Also, that's The Rock. The Rock is also in the chat. Hi to Rocky Maivia, a.k.a. The Rock.
Rocky Maivia. Oh, my goodness. You took it back to his OG name. Man. Wow. That's something. That other voice you hear, of course, is the Secretary of Spoil, the Platinum Princess herself, hailing all the way from the Great White North Canada, Miss Haley Nicole Miller. How are you this fine, wonderful Pride Month?
Yes. Hi. Great. I mean, personally great, but it'd be great if I didn't have to be an activist. So,
I mean, you don't have a choice.
No, I really don't. Just please stop trying to take rights away. Maybe that'd be nice.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. I wish we could all just get along and realize that there is more that binds us than separates us and focus on that. But unfortunately, it's just apparently not the human way.
Yeah,
but I digress. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it and let's talk about our week. So let's start with you, Haley. How was your week?
So I guess my schedule's gonna change apparently, even though they were like, oh, hey, so you want Sunday and Thursdays off? Yeah. And they were like, okay, well, due to our schedule, there's been a change. Please pick your top 3 preferences from this list. Only 2 of the options had Sunday in them. So heads up, we might have to change recording days. Not exactly pleased, but whatever. I actually still don't even know my actual schedule. I know that I have a meet and greet for work tomorrow because we're recording this on Sunday. And then actual training starts Friday, and that's 9:30 to 5:30 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., which, I guess that's standard. But the schedules they all sent me start from 12:30 until 10 p.m. at night. So but some of them are flex, so they can start earlier or later than that. So I don't actually know my schedule. I know that training I'll be working from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., but after that, I don't know. So, woo!
Well, you know what? You got a job, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Figure out the rest as you go.
Yeah. Gaming wise, I played a lot this week. But before I get to the gaming stuff, I just want to talk about Pride Month for a sec. This is a time where, like, I would generally be super excited, right? Like, I don't hide it. Like, for video listeners, you can see behind me my pride flags, but like, it's not exactly like a great year for it, really. Like, states just passing random like anti-trans laws, bathroom bills, and just shit. Like, this shit is meant to legislate us out of public existence, and it's not good. It's really not good. And it started out mostly centered in the UK, which, still not good, but like, that's where it is. And all of this is like funded by like and I have no problem with religion, but like, there's actual like visible proof of this. It's like religious right backed like organizations funding all of this and using anti-trans activists as the scapegoats to do it for them. Um, and it's just getting worse, and it's starting to spread to more countries than the UK and the US. Like, there's a couple like local politicians, like not on the federal level, but there's a couple local ones here who are starting the nonsense, and it's just like, just fuck off, leave us alone, please. Like, we didn't do anything to you. Just leave us alone, like, please. Also, I'll say this every time. I didn't come to Twitter to be an activist. It kind of just has to be that way, and it's unfortunate.
Yep.
So,
unfortunately, when you're in the minority in any respect, you end up kind of becoming an activist, because if you don't talk about it and bring up your rights, nobody else will. It's just kind of the way things work. Like, we saw it with, George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement last year, which is continuing into this year. You see it with Pride Month and everything going on surrounding that. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner out here being a complete ass.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. So let me put this.
I'm just so confused by her. I don't get it at all. I'm like, really?
Let,
this is
let me
what
put
you've
this as
chosen?
nicely as I can. If I catch you dead naming Caitlyn Jenner because she's a shitty person, I don't want to talk to you. Caitlyn Jenner's a shitty person, but misgendering her is not the answer. Because you know who's not going to see you misgendering her? Caitlyn Jenner. Do you know who's going to see you misgendering her? Anybody you know and respect who's trans. If I catch you dead naming Caitlyn Jenner because you don't like her politics, which I don't like her politics, but, like, there are other ways to voice that, like, her politics and the policies she wants to enact if she actually gets elected governor of California are shitty than to dead name her in public. Because people probably aren't aware of this, but it's pretty obvious. She doesn't run her own Twitter account. She's not going to see it. But all your friends who might be trans or gender nonconforming or queer in other regards, they're going to see it, and they're going to. How are they going to feel? Like, no. Like, there are other ways to voice that someone's politics are shitty. You don't need to like resort to dead naming them or misgendering them. Just no, don't do it ever.
Why does politics just bring out the absolute worst in people? Why? It's so
I don't know.
frustrating.
I don't know, but I don't think that needs to be said. And this is where I, like, pop our own content. Patreon listeners have probably already listened to it, but if we've gotten any new ones, there's a fantastic episode of of an episode of me and Donnie talking about my experiences and what it's like for me to be a trans person. And of course, I can't speak for everyone, right? But I bring this up because this morning I spent 4 hours watching this week's Easy Update from Easy Allies, where Isla Hink, who came out last week, had a 4-hour long AMA. Like, some questions were posted on the Easy Allies Patreon page, and Isla answered them in a 4-hour long video, and it's great. And anyone who wants to know more, and again, Isla even states this in her video, like, she's not speaking for anyone else, just for her. But like, it's 4 hours long, and the content Donnie and I made is 3 hours. Actually, it might even be over 3 hours. I forget the time run of it, but it's definitely out there. Highly recommend it though. Like if you're looking to learn more. So I just want to bring that up before I like got into how my week was, because again, I don't hide who I am, but also like I also don't really want to, ignore Pride Month. Like it's supposed to be a time to like not be afraid, and it's kind of weird that I'm kind of afraid to go to the store because, that was a fun experience this week that I won't get into on the podcast. So,
people, just be humans. Humanity should override everything. Like we're all flesh and blood. Yeah. Again, there's more that there's more about us that is the same, that bonds us, than there is that separates us, and we really need to just try to focus on that as just humans. Everybody deserves rights. Everybody deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. Just because you don't believe in the same things they believe in or feel the same way about everything doesn't mean that they're not a human and valid and should be cared for and should be shown love. Yeah. It's really funny to me when all these religious groups get involved in all this stuff. And when you look at the teachings, it's not about you or how you feel or your judgment. Like, get away from the judgment. The whole thing about pretty much every religion is about spreading love and loving each other and doing what's right to uplift, people. And by tearing individuals down for not, believing in the exact same things you believe in or feeling the same way you do about things is the exact opposite of what most religions teach. So all of the hate just has to stop. It's real simple. Spread love, regardless of your religion, regardless of your gender. Just love one another. Be kind. Treat others how you would wish to be treated, no matter, the circumstances. It's real simple. It's so much easier to spread kindness and love than it is to hold on to anger and hate.
Exactly. I know this is supposed to be about my week, so on the topic of how my week actually went, like I said, getting ready to start the new job, which will be nice. I'm still not really leaving the house though, so probably still going to be having way too much free time. But that's okay. Superman and Lois continues to exceed expectations week by week. There's still 7 episodes to go of the season, so that's great. On my Arrowverse rewatch, I just finished the first big crossover between all the shows, which Devon knows what I'm talking about. That's the one with the Dominators. So now that the crossover's finished, I can focus on individual season, like the rest of the individual season of each of the shows, and finish them, and then start the whole cycle over for the next one, because the next one is the kind of tasteless crossover, Crisis on Earth X, which for anyone who's not familiar with Earth X, it's an actual comic book Earth in DC Comics where the Nazis won World War II. So great. I don't know. It's got some good lines and some good like actual like dealing with that scenes in it next season, but like also like the way they went about promoting that was kind of weird, and yeah. But that's about all my TV stuff. In the game front, I've played a lot of stuff this week. Watch Dogs had a 60 FPS update, which I jumped into that for a bit. They still haven't fixed like the trophy sync issue. So like, for example, as people know, back in November when the game came out, I played it like 2 days before I got it came out at like the end of October, right? I don't remember when it came out, but I know there was like a definite time period before the PS5 launched and whatnot. And I got like maybe 60% of the trophies in the PS4 version, but I have 33% in the PS5 version because none of like the character specific ability trophies popped. None of the like, hey, you turned this bureau defiant stuff popped. And I can't do that stuff without starting a whole new game over, and I'm not doing that because Watch Dogs Legion it's fun to play in short bursts, and I'll obviously check out like the Aiden Pierce content and brunch stuff coming out. It's supposed to be, I think, the end of this month. I'll check that stuff out. But starting the whole game over and like taking districts over and stuff is just it wasn't fun. So hopefully they fix the trophy sync issue. I finished and 100%ed the Ireland DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so greatly enjoyed it. It's a lot shorter than the main game. Like, the main story for it was maybe 20-25 hours. It was definitely fun. 100%ing it wasn't hard either. It was just frustrating. One of the objectives is to gather fish for a tribute. If you played the main game, you can earn ability points through gathering, let's say, 500 coins and putting them in a pot, and you get a skill point for it. One of them required you to get 5 fish, and I wasn't sitting there fishing, so I was just shooting a bow into the water trying to get them. Like
redneck fishing.
I mean, It's a lot faster because they want you to like mash so hard on the X button to like catch those fish, and you got to deal with them like struggling against the thumbstick, and it's just like it's so annoying. But also jump back into Mass Effect 2 finally. So recruited Kasumi, reinstated Shepard Spectre status, and then. That's about all I had time. Oh, right. I also did one of the side missions, so that was cool. Not like a character specific side mission, but like one of the side missions you just get like topped up on your computer. So that was my time with Mass Effect because I didn't really have a lot of time for it. Hopefully I get some more this week. Still playing through The Last of Us Part 2 on permadeath. It's more fluid now at 60 FPS. And I find that they've been a lot better with it. Like, a lot of it's not really giving me headaches, so I think it might have just been that I wasn't really used to it. I don't know. There are still some first-person shooters that at, like, 60 FPS definitely give me a headache. So, and obviously, like, I don't really play first-person shooters. I mean, like, also, the only other thing I jumped into was Apex Legends, and I didn't actually even play any Apex Legends. I just jumped in to grab. Hey, I've had a lot of free time. That might change. I don't know, but who knows? I also jumped into Apex Legends to grab the Pride Month banner badge. So, haven't had a chance to actually play any of Season 9 yet, but yeah, that's been my week.
Very busy, very full week. It's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. How about you, Devon? How has your week been?
Well, he's been pretty okay. In terms of gaming, I think I may almost. I want to say I'm almost finished with Resident Evil 8.
I'm getting ready. How many? So last time you had like all 4 of the flasks, right?
Yeah. Okay. I was going to Heisenberg.
You were going to the factory.
Yeah. Now I'm literally getting ready to fight him now.
Okay, yeah.
So hopefully that's almost in this game, so I'm ready to be done with it.
But you're not enjoying it?
It's cool. It's just that kind of feel like it's dragging on at this point. I feel like the part that was the most fun to me was inside the mansion and that little section outside when I don't want to spoil this part. I think this part is really awesome, but everything concerning the baby.
We differ there, sir. Get that crap out of my Resident Evil.
I thought that was fast. I thought that kind of changed the dynamic of it. I thought that was pretty cool, weird, but I don't want to get too far than that. But
yeah,
it's cool. It's a cool game. I'm just ready to be done with it, honestly. But like I said, I haven't had time to like play a lot of stuff. I've also played this game called Hired Gun.
Necromunda, right?
Necromunda, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I only played like one level of it, but it's pretty cool. It kind of plays like a low budget Doom almost. Well, you have to run around and you shoot the I guess the people that you're shooting at and stuff, and as you kill them, you have to actively search and get them to get like more health and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool, and you also get like a cool dog that you can sick on people to help attack you stuff. So far, I like it. It's cool. It feels a little AA. It's not as polished as other games are, but it's cool so far. So I'm liking it. It's different, but I haven't really got into that one that much to really give an opinion on it. So I'll talk about that when I get into that more so. But otherwise than that, I think that's pretty cool. I met somebody from Twitter who does a podcast called the What Up Though Podcast. Met my boy Otis. He came down here from Detroit to hang out a little bit. So me and him met at a cigar bar, and I sat with him and we talked for like a few hours and stuff about Miami and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool time.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, hanging out in Little Havana. He was watching all the Spanish people dance around and stuff in the cigar bar. He was buying some Cuban cigars and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Pretty fun time yesterday.
Nice. That's real dope.
What's on your cup?
Good old
What's your cup
Florida.
say?
Captain Marvel. You know,
Excellent.
the woman that everybody hates.
So ridiculous.
Speaking of Brie Larson, they finally put the Envy Adams actually sung by Brie Larson Black Sheep version on Spotify. So I've been
I saw
listening to
that too.
all weekend.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
But I still don't understand why everybody hates Brie Larson. She's great.
I don't get it either. I so don't understand the hate for her. I never understood why everybody was so up in arms about her being Captain Marvel and everything. I don't get it.
Because she's a woman who has opinions. That's the only reason they have to hate her, which is stupid.
We're doomed as we're doomed. God.
I just find it fascinating that one of the first things you learn as a child is to do unto others as you want to have others do unto you. And it seems like 20, 30 years later, for most adults, we still don't get that concept. Treat people how you want to be treated.
My favorite.
It doesn't even take that long. More like 10 years by the time you're in high school.
Yeah. Also, like straight up, like my favorite is the people who use the Bible as the reason they're being a hateful asshole. And I'm like, I'm not even religious, and I know that you're like literally not following what that book tells you to do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real talk. Who did Jesus hang out with? The sinners.
Yep.
The whores. The money runners. That's who we hung. Those were the main people he was involved with. Why? Because they were the most pure people, even though they were doing the shadiest stuff. The ones who were the real bad ones, the real corrupt ones, were the ones that were in charge. The ones running the church.
Hey,
it's just
remind me again. What did Jesus do to those people?
He spread love, man. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Spread love. That's what he did.
AKA Jesus hung out with the cool people, not the lame people.
Pretty much.
I don't know. It's just so funny when they're like, and again, not to dive back into like the like Pride Month stuff, but like it's like, well, yeah, God says Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and I'm like, okay, but first of all, homosexuality.
God never said that.
First of all, second of all, homosexuality didn't appear in the Bible until 1947 when it was rewritten. The word that was originally there stood for pedophilia. So there's that too.
Oh, the fun part about the translations of the Bible.
Yeah.
You can put anything in there for all we know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, also they're like, oh, well, if you're gonna, my favorite is when they're like, oh, well, God said yada yada yada, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and I'm just like, okay, but they also said not to wear clothing made of two different like fabrics. So like, what are you doing? Everything you wear is made of more than one fabric. So.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And if Jesus were here today,
people. I'm not a religious.
He would be loving all of the queer folk.
I'm not a religious person. Like, you know, I've had some not great experiences with religion, but also like I just don't generally like want to spend my time doing that. But you know what? I'm not going to hate on someone for their religion. Like,
well,
yeah,
I am a religious person. I can tell you this, and this annoys me. Don't pick and choose the things out the Bible that you want to or listen to or you want to obey and use it for your benefit.
Part.
Simple as that
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on.
How was your week, Dev?
My week was pretty good. Wasn't terribly busy, which was nice. My wife was supposed to go to Houston to meet up with some friends, but they all got sick. So she decided to stay home, and we're just postponing that trip to another time. She was a little bummed about that. So she's been here and just kind of hanging out. She's finishing up work. School just ended for her, so her teaching stuff is done for right now, so she gets to focus on other stuff. My son graduated from TK, which is basically like a pre-kindergarten stuff, so that was really fun for him. Just having him back in class for like, I think maybe it's been a month now. He's been really, really enjoying it. Already is sad about missing his teacher, and because I guess the last day of school is this Tuesday coming up. So he's just like real sad. He's like, I'm gonna miss Mr. Burris. Sad, but he's been having a really good time making friends. I love picking him up from school, and as he's leaving, like all the other kids are saying bye to him and everything. So has been a nice experience. It's weird to go back to dropping off the kids. It's always like that heart-wrenching moment, like, I'm gonna miss you. I'm glad you're gone, but man, I'm gonna miss you because it's just the 2 hours that we get from him being out is so much easier to work and all that good stuff. But that's been cool. This week, all I've really played has been Destiny. Mainly because last night, if you saw I posted in Discord, I had a little LAN party.
I did.
Yeah, I had the homies over.
That sweet little 3D TV you had there.
Yeah. That was for the homie who got there late. You got the bottom of the barrel pick because all the rest of the monitors were 4K monitors. I have way too many screens, I've realized. Because all the screens were mine.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, you were hosting a LAN party at your house, so.
Yeah. Typically, you bring your own stuff though, but I was like, I got a bunch of 4K screens, so y'all can use mine. But yeah, the homies came over. We had some drinks. We had some food. We just hung out, played Destiny, just kind of chilled. Everybody's going through stuff, so it was nice to have us all together and just kind of hang out. So yeah, just been playing Destiny this week. I keep wanting to get back to Mass Effect, but it's like, oh, it's so large of a game.
Where'd you leave off?
I don't remember.
That's fair.
I have no idea. I don't remember what I was doing at the time, but it's always there to get back to whenever I get around to it. But
it's probably going on the back burner for me on Friday, so because Ratchet. So, But I have one other question. What kind of food did you have?
What did we get? We just had We had Wingstop. That's all.
Okay. I was just asking because I had Angus burgers for dinner last night. So
yeah,
I'm making that today.
I'm making that. I'm making the
no
rest
idea
of them,
what we're having for dinner
after the podcast. So
yeah, I have no idea what we're making for dinner. I gotta go to the store after this. So after this, probably do church and then head out to go grocery shopping because my cupboards are bare and missing things, and my children are making sure they let me know that there are no snacks because that's all they do all day is snack. They are eating me out of house and home. It's ridiculous. You're not hungry. You're just bored. Stop eating every hour. It's nonsense.
I know that I'm 25, turning 26 later this year, but that's all I want to do all the time too is just snack. So
drives me insane. You just ate. You're not hungry. Go away. Stop asking me for food. Stop it. It's ridiculous.
I eat way more now than I did before I started hormones, by the way. So like there's that.
Yeah.
Fun fact, people. I used to be able to stick my hands under my rib cage, like straight under my rib cage. I can't do that anymore.
I don't even
like
know
straight up under, so like you could see my hands. Yeah, like that's how skinny I was. You could, yeah. Yep.
Just gonna. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of questions to get through, so we're just gonna transition into all of the wonderful questions you've got. Starting with PSVG Kevin, he wants to know: do you think Sony will have a showcase at E3, or rather, during E3? If so, what would be your guess for a surprise announcement?
I mean. So rumor has it they're having one at like the end of June, early July, and it's gonna feature God of War. But I don't know. I'm expecting whenever they host their next one, we're gonna get confirmation of whether Horizon actually makes it this year or not. I'm still leaning towards maybe. I'm I would assume November. That could, of course, change, and if it does, it's not a big deal. Like, there's plenty of stuff coming out this fall already, and we don't even have most of the announcements from E3 yet and Summer Game Fest. But what would be a surprise announcement? I don't know. Maybe the title of whatever Ben's new IP is. I mean, it's probably too early to show anything from it, but that could be a surprise announcement. I don't know. Maybe the rumored second game Santa Monica Studios working on. I don't know. Anything could be a surprise announcement because we really don't know much besides the fact that Horizon and God of War are in development, and that GT7 and God of War are both confirmed coming to PS4. So that's about,
Yeah.
The surprise announcement I would definitely want is, hey, Hades drops today on PlayStation. Go pick it up. That's what I want, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
What do you think, Devon? E3, Sony, they're gonna be there or close to it?
I think they'll probably be close to it. Sometime maybe the week after or something like that. But if they could possibly do it in the month too, and it'll be fine. But E3 has kind of become a thing now. It could be a month-long event, so it doesn't really matter when they do it in terms of that. But surprise announcement, I'm gonna give you one. The Last of Us multiplayer is unveiled.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of falling off people's radar a little bit,
and it's coming soon, in the next couple months.
I think maybe first. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say maybe in September or November, something like that.
I think it's still too early. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. Blessing Adeoye Jr. over at Kind of Funny echoes the same thing, where he feels if we see Factions multiplayer mode this year, we see it at the Game Awards in December, and then it'll come out next year.
Yeah, that's so far off from the original release.
But see, here's his reasoning, and I agree with him on this. If you're hiring a marketplace multiplayer developer and this was a listing that was recently on Naughty Dog's website for your multiplayer game, yeah, you're not releasing it anytime soon.
Who says it's for that game? Could be something else they're working on.
Sure.
I feel like releasing Factions that late next year, is anybody still paying that much attention or waiting for it?
I mean,
I feel like that's so far away from the original release that it's kind of out of the minds of the vast majority of people who are waiting to play that.
I mean, we were already told it's much bigger in scope than it was in the first one. So
yeah, that's all well and good, but that game came out. It'll be almost 2 years by the time Factions comes out, if it comes out next year. It's I'm not even thinking about that. I'm ready for the next Last of Us thing at that point, right?
Yeah.
I just think that's weird. I think it's a long time in between. Go ahead.
I feel like if you're gonna come out with it that long, why don't just add some single player DLC, quote unquote, to it, standalone DLC with it? Because that's a long wait, and especially it's gonna be so. And this is so much stuff is gonna be coming out next year and later that year. Who will really have time to play Factions? Why would it be on their radar?
Yeah.
You would be surprised. Factions is a dedicated community. Last of Us 1 multiplayer.
It was
still popping.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. As far as Sony being there at E3, no, I don't think I think they're gonna do their own thing, probably in July after all the dust settles. That way the whole focus can be on them. I think that's how they're gonna get down. It's why even bother putting out a bunch of stuff during E3 when we could just wait till E3 is over. We can do our own thing in July and have the entire focus shifted onto us, and we can do our thing there. And as far as a surprise announcement, the next Ghost of Tsushima. That's just me wishing and wanting. Other than that, I don't really have any other guesses, but I really think that that's what I want. I want more Ghost of Tsushima. I'd like a part 2.
I'm just putting this out there because I know he's listening. Delvin, your son's surprise announcement that would make him extremely joyous is a new Jak and Daxter.
Yep. He would be very happy about that.
But that if if anything, I'm gonna take the Greg Miller approach here and say, if anything, the most you'll get is a tease of them through an anomaly in Ratchet and Clank, maybe.
Jack and Daxter.
I can see a collection or something like that, maybe.
Maybe.
Didn't they do that already?
They did that already, and they were just up-res ports of the PS2 games, which, there's nothing wrong with up-res ports. I'm just like, they already put them out. You can buy them individually or as a whole collection on the PlayStation Store already.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from El Tech Zero or El Techo. He wants to know, which is better, season 1 or season 2 of Love, Death, and Robots?
Well, that depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for shorter, more focused content? Then you're looking for season 2. If you're looking for season 1, season 1 is more like varied content. Like the first episode, I think, is a fight club with animals and stuff. Whereas 6 episodes down the line, you could be watching someone swim through fish in the air. So, it's more about what you're looking for. There's 18 episodes in season 1. They're all like 10 to 12 minutes. I think the longest one's maybe 18. They're all different animation styles too. And the same thing follows for season 2, but those ones are, again, there's 8 there, and the longest one is 18 minutes and like 50 seconds. It's all good content, but it's all a matter of what you're looking for.
I have not watched season 1 or season 2 yet. Everybody tells me it's a fantastic show. By the way,
it is. It's an anthology show with sci-fi premises,
like Animatrix almost.
Sort of. Like every episode is different, so like there's no connecting threads between any of them. Like they're all different. So,
yeah. But I've heard it's very good.
Yes, yeah.
It's in my queue as we speak. Just haven't had time.
I barely know anything about it, so I have no answer for this.
It's on Netflix.
Never seen a trailer. I don't know nothing about it.
It's on Netflix. One of my favorite episodes is in season 1, and I can't say anything about it without spoiling it because of how short it is. But it's a cyberpunky type episode, not like Cyberpunk 2077, but like actual cyberpunky. So
beautiful looking show.
Maybe I'll check out the trailer and see what it's about. But
they're quick.
Next question.
They're quick, easy watches. Like I said, 10 to 12 minutes at most, generally. And then there's maybe like 4 episodes total between both seasons that are 18 minutes long. So,
yeah, lack of a connecting thread kind of turns me off. But
again, you can pick and choose episodes. You don't have to watch them all. Like that's the point of an anthology.
Think of it like Black Mirror.
I never seen Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is fantastic.
But
San Junipero, baby.
Y'all know I don't watch a lot of TV, so
I know. But on Delvin's comment of Black Mirror, San Junipero, baby. Also, don't watch the first episode of Black Mirror. Just don't. You're far better off. Please do not. Don't.
I don't even remember the first episode of Black Mirror.
It's the David Cameron fuck the pig one. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Just skip that episode and watch the rest. You'll be far better off. But like, the first episode of Black Mirror season 1 is literally about David Cameron fucking a pig. So,
well, there's context to that. He just didn't do it.
I mean, he did it, and it kind of ruined his political career. So,
yeah,
I don't even know who David Cameron is. So
he was the former UK Prime Minister.
Doesn't matter.
So, yeah,
I got nothing. All right, next question comes from Mr. Pastor Coach Ham. He says, all right, I just got a German Shepherd puppy with my family, and even with the pee accidents, training and such, it is a childhood dream come true. Did you have any childhood dream pets back in the day? What pets do you own or wish you didn't? Start with you, Delvin.
I now own 2 dogs. Neither one was by my choice, but I guess the one I own, the bigger one, Lucy's a Labrador Retriever, a black lab, adorable, sweet dog. It was my grandmother's dog, but Lucy was a lot rambunctious and literally would tear up everything in our house. Like in terms of like, we had like a bed for her. She tore up the bed with the other dogs and stuff like that. She tear up stuff in the house. And now, my grandmother was sick earlier this year, and the dog jumps on people and hugs people. So she couldn't handle the dog, so I ended up having to take care of the dog. Sweetest dog in the world. I trained the dog, so now it doesn't do any of that stuff, just behaves and just a good dog. And my other dog, Buster, is a small Yorkshire Terrier who was my ex's dog who she didn't take care of. And I started taking care of, and the dog loves me to death, follows me everywhere, and drives me insane. In terms of pets I've had when I was younger, my grandmother, and this is going a little bit in my psyche, when I was a kid, I stayed with my grandmother a lot, and she owned everything from chickens to iguanas to ferrets. And I had to take care of all those animals. She had a chicken coop and everything, and I had to take care of the ferrets, the rabbits. She had so many different animals at different times of her life. Gerbils, guinea pigs. So I've been around animals all my life, legit.
Straight Dr. Doolittle over here.
Yeah. At one point, we had in the backyard 18 chickens, 6 ferrets, 2 dogs, and 5 rabbits.
Wow.
Yeah. Boy,
that's a lot of animals. I was going to say, there's got to be some kind of code violation.
Yeah. Felt like it.
like one of those articles about 18 cats confiscated from elderly woman's home, like one of those.
Yeah. That definitely has Florida Man written all over it.
You would think so, but spoilers, my grandmother has money. And she had these big coops and these big pens and houses for all these pets live better than people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so.
Well, dang. What about you, Haley? Any childhood pets that you like? Dream pet?
Liger.
A liger. Okay.
No. That's a deep cut for anyone who knows what I'm referencing. By the way, I'll give you a guess.
I got nothing.
No one remembers the hit 2000. Wait, Devon, go ahead.
No. You were supposed to give the guess. You said I'll give you a guess that didn't give the guess.
Yeah.
So how about you give the guess first, and I can try to figure it out.
No. You can guess. You like. I'm very surprised you at least don't know what I'm referencing.
I don't remember anything. I've been hitting the head a lot.
No one here remembers the hit 2004 movie Napoleon Dynamite.
Not at all. I hate that movie.
Not enough to remember anything about a liger.
I did not like that movie.
It's a lion and a tiger mix, you know.
That's probably why I didn't like that movie.
No, I like that movie because it's just ridiculous. Like some of the scenarios in it are just stupid. Like he puts the tater tots in his pocket, and someone kicks his jeans, and he's like, "Oh no, my tater tots!"
We get some of those tots, Napoleon.
Yeah, like. By the way, nothing happens in that almost 2 hours and 45-minute movie. Like that movie is like 40 minutes longer than it needs to be.
That movie
nothing
is 2 hours and 40 minutes longer than it needs to be.
Nothing happens in it, but it's so fun to watch as just like a dumb movie. It's so good.
I could throw this football over those mountains right now if I wanted to.
Yeah,
we could have took state. Could have took state.
Also, like, come get some lard. Like, I'm not saying the rest of that because it could be construed as offensive to people, but like the way he talks to the llama, or I forget if it's a llama or an alpaca, whatever.
It's a movie. That's all I can say.
It's an experience, and there's also like 2 seasons of an animated show with all the voice actors returned. It's great. No, I never really had any like childhood pets that I wanted. I had 2 cats, as we all know. Rest in peace, Sit. Been almost 2 months. Yeah. And then I got Blue, who is scrambling to get all the attention now. So, no. Yeah. It's weird though, because again, Blue is like 5.5 years older than Sit was. Like, Blue's over 20. So, had that cat since I was 5 years old.
Wow. That's nice. Yeah, when growing up, we didn't have pets. So I never had pets. I never really wanted pets. Taking care of animals is not something that I enjoy. We had, like when I was a baby, but don't really remember. We had a cat named Simmons that ran away. And then my wife really wanted a dog until she realized she didn't. So we had a dog for a brief period. It was a cockapoo. So it was a cocker spaniel poodle mix. It really loved me, and I enjoyed having a dog for a brief period. But I can't say that I'd want any other pet. I like cats. My wife hates cats, so I'll never get a cat. Um, my daughter really wants a dog, but the problem is I'll be the one that has to walk it
Yeah.
and pick up its
Yep.
shit and take care of it and all that stuff because yeah, they're here for all the fun times, but like the actual taking care of it and remembering to feed it and all that stuff will be left to
Yeah.
dad. And dad wants no parts of that. I already have two little animals to take care of. I don't need any more. So
Well
yeah.
said.
No animals for me. All right. Next question comes from Hollywood Bones. He says, so I've jumped back into No Man's Sky after an almost 5 year hiatus. Now, after Hello Games upgraded the game to PS5 and launched the new Prism 3.5 update, I'm back in and going for the platinum. Do you guys have any games you left behind and are looking to finish the game or go back for the platinum?
That game, No Man's Sky, for me.
I tried to give No Man's Sky another shot. It's just not for me. Which some games aren't. And the only game I've ever really felt like that with was Infamous One and 2018 God of War, and I went back and got the plats for both of them. So,
Nice.
again, I like to hunt platinums, but if I'm not enjoying a game, I'm not going to push myself to earn that platinum. Like,
Yeah. My whole life is a backlog.
I enjoy
So-
hunting trophies. I'm not going to ruin enjoyment of that by forcing myself to play 96 levels of a game I'm not enjoying. I'm looking at
The
you,
only-
DMC Devil May Cry.
I beat that one.
A great game, but to get the platinum, you have to fight through 100 levels, and if you die once, you start over. So, no.
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything other than maybe The Last of Us that I've considered going back and getting the platinum.
If you do, and you need help with the multiplayer trophies, I'm here.
Wait. There's a Last of Us 2 multiplayer trophies? What?
I thought you said Last of Us 1.
Oh,
You did
no.
say Last of Us. You didn't say specify
I
which
meant
one.
2. I don't even forget. I
No.
completely forget about the first one. I meant 2. That's probably the only one that I've considered going back and getting the platinum. Will I do it? Probably not, to be perfectly honest, just because there's so many other things to play and I just don't have time to be chasing platinums. But there's tons of games that I want to go back and finish. Mass Effect being one of them. I have a backlog that's ridiculously long, so there's tons of games that I want to go back and actually just finish. As far as trying to platinum, not really. Games that I want to platinum, I try to platinum as I finish them, so I can just be done with it. So I'm not chasing plats. I don't have the time. Like it's a lot. It's a serious time investment, and I don't have the time to invest in that. I'd rather be playing other games once I'm done with something. I'm not a replay a game type of guy. I don't replay a lot of games at all. All right. Moving along, next question comes from Justin Pickard. He wants to know, what are some of your favorite licensed games from the PS1 or PS2 era? Mine is The Phantom Menace on PS1. I spent hours, endless hours, replaying that game over and over again. And a bonus question would be, what TV or movie or TV franchises would you like to see get a licensed game or adaptation of?
You're asking the wrong person. The only licensed PS2 games I remember are Tony Hawk, and we all know how that remaster turned out. And I'm very sad. Well, we won't get Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. And yes, I'm well aware of the rumor of there actually being a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, whether that's DLC or an actual full game. I still don't think it's gonna happen. Rest in peace, Vicarious Visions, just a support studio now.
Would Tony Hawk be considered a licensed game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a licensed game.
It's a licensed game because Activision doesn't own the likeness of Tony Hawk. They license it from Tony Hawk.
That is not what I would have thought about that.
What
about you, Devon? Any
I never
favorite
answered the movie
from the PS1?
So go ahead and answer the question, Haley.
The movie or TV thing, maybe Smallville, but I think the ship sailed on that. So,
yeah. What about you, Devin? Anything licensed? I know you played a lot of those games.
This is actually my bag. So I have 3. In the PS2 era, there was a 24 the game based off the 24 TV series that I love, where you play as Jack Bauer, and it has the original cast from the show, and every time you finish a stage, it's like the episode of the show. It is just like an episode of the show. So I love that game. There's also a game for Batman Begins. It's the only Christian Bale Batman movie that got a game, if I remember correctly. And the cool thing about it was, I think they said this kind of was like almost like, well, it's really cool because when one of the objects of the game that you do were you had, before you fight the bad guys, you had to instill fear in them. So you'd have to like do things in the environment. This is a PS2 game, by the way. Do things in the environment that would get the villain scared, like the thugs scared. So when they see the Batman, they'll be so scared they wouldn't even want to fight him. They just take him out like that. It was a pretty cool thing for those type of games like that. And my favorite licensed game of all time, we talk about these type of games, is the Chronicles of Riddick that came out on Xbox. Fantastic game. Vin Diesel's likeness looked very good for an Xbox game. I love the heck out of that game. I wish they port that to PS4, PS5, or Xbox Series X, but it's a great game. There was 2 games made. One that was made for original Xbox, which is the regular Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, which has exhibit in it, by the way, which is cool. And the sequel, which was Dark Athena, which was made for Xbox 360 and PS3, if I remember correctly. And it also came with the original game. But those are the games that I love to death. Great series. As terms of a movie or a TV show that I would like to see get a video game adaptation, I would like to see a good Stranger Things game.
There already is one. It's a pixelated game. It's on the PlayStation Store already.
Good keyword. Good.
It is good.
I don't think it's good. That great. I think
beat 'em up. It's a good game. So.
I don't think it's that great. I want to see one that's either. I feel like I wanted to see that Telltale one that they were working on. That would have been cool to see that come to fruition and see how that would worked out. Or it's so much things you can do with the Stranger Things license. It's weird that they haven't done more with it, honestly.
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
It's the most they've done with it, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's Nancy and Steve, and then obviously the...
That is correct.
And then the villain. I forget the villain's name because I've not actually watched Stranger Things. It's in my queue before people come at me. Like, I'll get to it, but...
I've told y'all my Dead by Daylight story, right?
No.
I have been trying to play this game for years. And every time, I swear to you, every time, and it's downloaded on my PS5 as we speak, every time I try to load this game up, it uploads a patch, and the patch takes forever, so I say, fuck it, I'm not playing this.
So,
every time.
Do you have the native PS5 version installed or just the PS4 version? Because there is
I don't know now.
PS5 version now.
I couldn't tell you now.
Oh,
but
that's okay.
This happened a lot, especially when I tried on PS4. And every time I try to play the game, have to install an update. It's going to take 5 hours. All right, screw this. It never fails.
Delvin, what the hell is your internet?
It's good internet. It's just that if you don't play it for a while, that game always updates. So then there's a whole bunch of patches that's coming in at once.
Game. Which, first off, I'm very excited. I'm very surprised you want to play that.
I like horror games. I like horror stuff, and plus I like all the licenses they have. They have Saw, they have Stranger Things, they have stuff I like. So
they have Silent Hill, I think. They have
Silent Hill's also
there. I don't know. It's just weird. I know that Resident Evil is being added on like the 25th of this month. So
yes, they also have Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, all stuff that I love. But every time I try to upload this game, download and patch, screw this, I'll play something else. Especially
also,
now.
By the way, like if your internet's good, it shouldn't take 5 hours to download the patch, regardless of how big the patch is.
You know, it's the glory of Sony and their downloading and then copying process that ends up taking 40,000 years.
Okay, but the copying process isn't counted in how long it takes to download. And do you know how I know this? Because I downloaded Fallout 76.
We know that, but it's just the process that Devon doesn't want to deal with. I got to download, I got to copy. It's going to take a while.
Exactly.
I'm good. I'll play this.
I'll play
this is
something
here
else.
already. Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
It's the convenience factor. It's the convenience factor.
Do you do that when other games update?
No, because usually I can get right into it. I feel like because I don't play Dead by Daylight that frequently, the patch is always like huge. Like, hey, this big update's coming up.
The biggest Dead by Daylight patch I've seen is 18 gigs, my friend. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a lot.
That's large.
That's large.
Not small.
That's a large
patch. That's a large update.
Assassin's Creed frequently has like 25 gig patches. What do you want?
First of all, Assassin's Creed is a game that is bigger than life itself. It needs to stop.
No.
It needs to stop with all the ridiculousness. Its DLCs are bigger than some games. It's nonsense.
Exactly.
I mean,
stop it, Assassin's Creed.
The optimization on Valhalla is great, though. Sorry to tell you, it's the smallest game installed on my console right now.
So. And
how is that possible?
I don't know.
That's impossible. Because Ratchet and Clank is like 38 gigs. Yep. So
Valhalla's smaller than that.
They need to talk to Call of Duty because
Valhalla's like 30. Ooh. Valhalla's like 34, including Wrath of the Druids.
Call of Duty was so bad. I sent my copy to Dev. That's how bad it was. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm not doing this crap.
Okay, we're not talking about Call of Duty because I've never seen an Assassin's Creed game reach that large. Except Odyssey, and even that it only reached that big if you had all 6 DLC packs installed.
I feel like Call of Duty was almost 200 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, nah. Like, nah.
The most I've seen an Assassin's Creed game get is 101 gigs. You can't pull a Call of Duty on that. Red Dead's bigger than 101 gigs. Red Dead's 136 gigs right now.
That's a lot.
And for reference, that's installed on an external hard drive and not the actual console hard drive. So
it's a lot of space.
Well,
GTA 5 is worse. It's like 150 at this point.
Jeebus. So as far as licensed games for me, I think the only one that I really even remember playing was the original Spider-Man that was tied into the movie. I enjoyed that one. I'm not a big licensed game guy, so I can't think of anything else that I really played or enjoyed.
I didn't think of that. Spider-Man 2 and 3 games were fun.
Yeah, they were.
I enjoyed the first Spider-Man. As far as something I want to see an adaptation of, or I really kind of like movies that TV, like they're their own thing. Like I don't need an adaptation. I don't need to play the game version of it. There's only one thing that I can think of that I'd want to see, but it would end up being something really small. So Cowboy Bebop. I would love to be able to just play like a side mission. The problem with Cowboy Bebop is that it's finished. Like it's only 26 episodes long. There's a beginning, there's an end, and there's a movie. Yeah. So the only thing that I'd want to see them do, I wouldn't want to see a game version of the series or a game version of the movie. I'd want to have something that's completely different. So just like one of their missions, it's not in the show, not in the movie, just something that could have happened in between episodes. I'd rather see something like that.
I think there is a Cowboy Bebop game.
Yeah, I think there is.
There is one. Wow. I don't remember what it was. I remember being excited for it and just completely forgetting about it. And I think it's like some kind of side-scrolling beat 'em up, and that's not something that I'd want to play from Cowboy Bebop.
I think the unfortunate thing with anime is that short. Like one of my favorite, like I'm not really an anime person, but I have a favorite, and I think I brought it up before. But like Hellsing Ultimate, it's vampires fighting Nazis. It's 10 episodes. That's it. That's all there is. It's 10 episodes. I wouldn't want a game of it though, because I don't even know how you could conceivably do a game with that show. Not even just because of how, short and constrained the series is, but the story's told really well regardless of that. Just because I don't really want to play a beat 'em up, which seems to be what most anime games get made to be. And I mean anime games based on existing properties. Like Dev just said, the Cowboy Bebop one is probably a beat 'em up. I don't want one for that, because to actually like enjoy Alucard and Ceres Victoria and other characters in that thing, you needed like an actual story. Like otherwise you're just playing a character that has no destination. You're just beating people up for no reason.
Yeah. That's not what I want either. I want something fleshed out, but like I said, I want it to be a mission or something that takes place in between episodes or something like that. Either that or Samurai Champloo, same thing. I don't want to have something where it's something that takes place in between. Like there's always an episode where a certain character is just missing from the episode. So you could take that and be like, this is what this character was doing in between these two episodes while they were gone. So do something like that to where it's not beholden to like the exact retelling of of the series or something like that. It's something where you can create kind of its own thing and it can kind of stand alone, but still also be a part of the series or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question comes from Jay Stiltus, and he says, "What is Tails' full name?" Don't
y'all know
Google it.
this?
Try to remember. Yeah, I
Do
know
y'all
it.
know this? I know it, so
Yeah.
I don't want to say it. Do you know it, Haley?
Yeah, I know it.
What are we talking? Sonic here?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Sonic.
Don't fucking ask me. I don't know shit about Sonic. I also don't give a fuck about Sonic.
Jesus,
Tails Miles Prower.
that is correct.
That's
Do
his
you
full
know
name.
where the miles come from?
No.
Don't
Miles
care.
Davis,
No,
named after Miles Davis.
real talk, like not to be like an aggressive person. I really don't care about Sonic. The only Sonic thing I've seen are like the old Saturday morning like WB Kids cartoons.
Great cartoon.
But
Yeah.
even
One
then,
was good, one was bad.
even then, I only watched them while I was waiting for Yu-Gi-Oh to come on, which I enjoyed far more. So
That was a weird cartoon thing. Did you
What?
notice that
what?
there were two different Sonic shows that came on at the same time?
Yes, I know. There's also a weird
Yeah.
movie where like the design of Sonic is awful and Eggman looks better than Sonic.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Why do people always want to call him Eggman? His name is Dr. Robotnik, damn it.
hi, welcome to fandom nicknames. Just it's what sticks with people. Also, his head looks like an egg. That's why he gets called Eggman.
Yeah, my kids call him Eggman all the time, and I'm like, look here, children. His name is Dr. Robotnik.
Hey,
Throw some
at
respect on his name.
least in the Sonic movie, you can't call him Eggman because he doesn't look like an egg.
I call him Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Jim Carrey.
Yeah. I still haven't
Yeah.
watched that movie. It's
Movie's
on
great.
Amazon Prime. I
It's
still
really
haven't
good.
watched it.
It's really
I've heard
good.
it's good. I've heard it's good. I don't really care about Sonic. More
I don't
power
know
to
why
those-
people have so much Sonic hate. I don't get it.
I don't.
And like the
Sonic
comparisons to
I-
Mario and stuff, it's such a different game.
I never said I
Everybody
hated
always
it.
complains.
I was just like I don't know the answer to these questions. I don't really care about Sonic. I'm ambivalent. I don't hate it. It's just I don't enjoy it. So
I will say this: the first 3 or 4 games are really good. Well, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3,
I used to
and Sonic
play
and Knuckles. Great games.
Flash. I used to play a Flash game on the browser for Sonic at school when I wanted to avoid schoolwork. But other than that, nah.
Yeah, everybody always like hates on Sonic and shits on it. It's such bad game design. It's
I
so
don't know,
terrible.
my
Mario is so
favorite-
much better. I'm like, they're so different. They're
My-
completely different types of games.
My
Yeah,
favorite
completely.
thing was when Greg Miller put out a poll on Twitter, what's more popular, Sonic or Zelda? And then the comment thread was like 265 tweets long, and I'm just like, I'm not reading through this.
Yeah, I still think Sonic is definitely more popular than Zelda. I mean,
I think
like,
it is.
We're not getting into this
globally,
debate here.
absolutely.
Sonic has a
Absolutely.
weird fan base where there are people who despise Sonic, and there are people who absolutely love Sonic and go into the lore of Sonic. It's weird.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean the fact that Sonic has a movie and several cartoons, and Zelda has one cartoon that was really terrible back in the day. I think it made that one cartoon. It's got one cartoon. I always think about the CDI version of the game that looks like a cartoon and is really bad, but it doesn't have the same like
And it didn't even have
amount
really
of
a
media.
one.
Yeah,
Didn't really have one cartoon. It was a cartoon inside of a cartoon
Captain
show.
N. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, Captain in the
my
Game Master.
favorite thing
So
is all
good.
I love
the
that show.
fake Netflix rumors about Zelda that pop up like every 6 months, like the fake posters with.
They
Yeah.
really should do that, by the way.
I mean, hey, more
They
power
should.
to them if they want to, but my favorite is like all the like terrible photoshopped posters that you can tell are fake. Like they're done in a way that you're meant to notice they're fake, and people still fall for it every time.
One year Nintendo should do that on April Fool's Day and be legit serious about it. And see if people like, hey, catch on to
man.
it. That would be kind of awesome.
See, that's my favorite thing with Rooster Teeth is their company birthday falls on April 1st. So they always have to like remind people, hey, anything we say on April 1st is not a joke. Like that's the day our company was founded. Like not a joke. This stuff is real.
That's funny. All right, let's get this last question out the way so we can jump into news stories. And this kind of takes us right into all of the news stuff, which is perfect. So, keep the hype over on Twitter. Yeah, he says, with PlayStation now seemingly supporting X-Gen games or cross-gen games and more PC releases, do you think we're seeing a seismic shift in how PlayStation has traditionally operated? Is this the new PlayStation approach under Jim Ryan?
No. I straight up just think this is because the PS5 isn't readily available. If the PS5 was readily available and you could walk into store shelves right now, I think the PS4 versions of God of War and GT7 would be scrapped. Horizon was, and again, has been stated for years that it was mostly developed on PS4. So that one would, of course, stay cross-gen. But the rest, I think their PS4 versions would be scrapped. And that would be that. On the PC front, yes, like Sony's gonna keep putting games out there because it makes money, and also like, why wouldn't they? Like
Sony's always made PC games. Like it's not a new thing. It's new for some of the PlayStation games that come there, but Sony's always supported PC, which people tend to forget.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think this is a seismic shift. I don't think there's ever a seismic shift when it comes to Sony. They do things over time and gradually. So I think that them, like Kelly said, a lot of the cross-gen stuff is more because of just the way COVID and everything happened, the limited supply of the chips to make the PlayStations. I think all of that factors in, and they had to shift course. And the PC stuff, yeah, they're gonna do more PC stuff, but you see, it's a very slow, gradual rollout. It's not like we're just flipping a switch and now everything's gonna be on PC. We're gonna really pick and choose the things that we think may do well on PC or things that we feel like need a little boost or whatnot. But I don't think it's gonna be this seismic shift. I think everything with them is very calculated, kind of slow rollout. And eventually we may get to the point where we start seeing PC games coming sooner. But I don't think it's going to be anything that we should expect to be like a day and date thing or anything super close. I think the fastest turnaround we had was with Death Stranding, and that's not even a first party title. So again, I think it's going to be a slow, gradual type of thing that happens with that.
Yeah, and again, that Bloodborne rumor I think is true. I think it will come to PC at some point, but I think they're strategically waiting for that one. I don't know why, but I think they are. Like, there are credible sources on it. Like, it's probably real. We don't have any real confirmation, but there are credible sources on it. Now, whether, like Dev says, I don't think we'll ever see day and date. Maybe if they start, and again, Microsoft has stated they don't count console sales as like the metric. Like, again, it's very hard to tell who's quote unquote winning because first off, I fucking hate the console war bullshit. Like, there's great games on every system. Like, just play what you want. You don't need to like militantly defend the giant billion-dollar corporation. Like, you don't need to do that. But it's hard to like gauge the metric of like who's in the lead, who's here, and who's where. Like, unless like something drastic happens and Sony's like all of a sudden in like, second or third place, which again, I hate this console war bullshit. Like, it's not important. Like, just play where you want to play and play the games you want to play. There's great games on every system. Then maybe we'd see day and date PC and console release, but it's an unfortunate thing, like the crossplay situation. Sony, like, they're a corporation. Their first thought is, how do we make the most money? So
people are still buying PS4s. That tells you all you need to know about that situation. They're going to still keep putting games on PS4 because, frankly, people are still buying PS4s and there's not enough PS5s out there now. When people start buying PS4s on a granular scale, then we can start seeing, okay, this stuff okay, only PlayStation only and stuff like that. They'll probably gradually move away from it. But as of right now, it's no point of moving away from it because PS4s are still selling like hotcakes. When people couldn't get PS5s and Series X's, they just okay, we'll just buy PS4. We'll just buy that. And in terms of the PC thing, I think they kind of do it that way to kind of give the game like a shot, a jolt in the arm. Like, hey, we released Forbidden West at this year, at this time, but we released it a year later on PC. That's another boost of everybody hearing about this game. That's, hey, remember this fantastic game, and it's gonna, as opposed to releasing them both at the same time, where you get that one boost. It feels like people have been waiting for these games to come to PC, and it becomes a whole other conversation about an old game. And old games don't feel old when you're announcing, hey, the PC release is coming soon.
Yeah.
All right. It extends the life cycle of it as well.
Yeah.
It's part of the conversation for much longer than just the console cycle. So now you get to re-release the game on PC. It's going to be better than it was in the console version, more than likely. And again, you're extending the life cycle, giving it a shot in the arm and getting a new audience and a new conversation surrounding the game. It's not bad for business. Yeah. You know, and you see all the Sony guys get all upset and up in arms about, oh no, don't send my games to PC. I don't get that. You had your chance with it. You played it. It coming to PC is not hurting you in any way, shape, or form. It's such a stupid thing to get upset about.
Paris,
like, they're not hurting you in any way, shape, or form. It's not doing anything to your experience with the game.
Paris's video on this is absolutely it instills the point so perfectly, where like he's holding up the case of, I want to play this on PC, tosses the game away. Uncharted 4, I want to play this on PC too, just tosses the game away. He's like, more people get to play the game. Who fucking cares? Like, it doesn't affect you. You already played the game on PlayStation. Hi, I have a gaming laptop. I want to play Horizon on PC again. Then I'll do it. I mean, I'll wait for it to go on sale because I paid full price for it already once. But like, my laptop can handle running it, so I'd like to play it.
Yep.
So it's the same
thing, especially when it's
Uncharted
so much
4.
later.
I'll play it on PC.
Not hurting you.
I don't know. Like,
I'm gonna be 100% honest. If PlayStation tomorrow was to be like, we're gonna put Uncharted 4 on Xbox in 2 years, I'm like, fine. I'd be fine with that.
Again, my whole point is open the fucking floodgates. Let everyone play everything, which I know won't happen because business and that's not how you make money. But again, if Xbox people tomorrow can play the entire Uncharted series, good. They have more games to play. Like that, it's better for everyone. Like,
I feel like as long as I get my worth out of the console in terms of I got to play my exclusives at the time I want to play my exclusives, I'm fine with it. I understand some people's arguments like, oh, well, what's the point of having multiple consoles if everything has the same thing? I get that. But once you've played it, once that window has passed, that 6 month, that year window of exclusivity, why not send it someplace else? It's not hurting you at all. Why not let these games go to Xbox or let these games come to PlayStation?
Yeah.
Not hurting you.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt your enjoyment of the game at all. It just enables more people to play it, enables a company to make more money, and when they have more money, they can make more games.
Again, I've made this point time and time again. I don't really care about exclusives. It's not why I buy the console. I buy the console because I enjoy the ecosystem. But like, again, if all of a sudden tomorrow Xbox could play Last of Us or Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, good. All the more merrier. More people get to play a great game. Like,
yeah,
like it does not affect me. It would be the same thing if Xbox did the reverse, which, again, I know this is a stickly topic because everyone's like, well, what about Bethesda? And like, it's stupid. But again, it would be like if all of a sudden, like they were going to put Fable on PlayStation. Great. More people get to play a great series. Fable's great. Like, it's the same thing. And it would be the same with Nintendo as well. If like all of a sudden tomorrow Xbox and PlayStation had Mario on the store, great, everyone can play Mario. Like, it would be better for the market, but again, that's not how business works, unfortunately.
Yeah, it would be better for the consumers. I don't know how well that would be for all of the actual people making the games, because again, part of the business part of it is you got to have something to sell the console, because if I know
Yeah.
Mario's coming to my Xbox, I might not buy Nintendo. I might just wait for it. So I get it from the business sense, but when it's years and years later, it's only a positive. It's only
Yeah,
a net positive.
I agree.
Well, with all that good video game news to end that with that question, let's just jump into our stories. What you got for us, Haley?
Well, I got two things, but I only listed one. The first thing I'm just gonna mention. Hi, it's Pride Month again. Tell Me Why is free on the Xbox console, on Xbox Game Pass on PC, and on Steam. If you want to play a great game about a trans man, that's not a spoiler. That's like the premise of the entire game.
In
You
the
can go
trailer.
grab it and claim it for free. Like, it's yours to keep, and you can claim it on more than one platform. I own it on Steam now. I own it on Xbox, and I own it on Xbox Game Pass for PC. Like, I own it 3 times over. Like, great game. Uh, it's free to keep. It's yours for Pride Month. So you got till June 30th to grab it and claim it. So just, do that if you want to play it. Like, so it's a good story. And also, like, huge fan of the way, like, when they were promoting that game, they detailed like points where, like, hey, this might be triggering for players. Which, again, I hate the word woke, but like, I know there were people up in the arms going, woke, you don't need to tell people triggers. And I'm like, no, they absolutely should tell people triggers, because sometimes games deal with horrific topics. Like, and warning your player beforehand is generally a good call. So
Yeah.
the other news I have is also, thank you Easy Allies for telling me how to actually pronounce this word. Kotch Media
Mm-hmm.
says that Saints Row and Dead Island 2 won't be at the E3 showcase. So wonder what they're showing.
Right.
Like, well, technically it was Deep Silver that came out and said they wouldn't be there, but Deep Silver is owned by Koch Media, so like, okay, like, I don't know what you're showing at your showcase then. But also, I like how the original headline included Time Splitters, and they just announced that studio formed. So like, I don't know, what are you showing? I mean, is this a
Right.
This is like a THQ Nordic situation, but like, how many games you got in development? I don't know what you're showing. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what the heck what they would be showing. It's so weird to me.
It's
Unless they're just announcing like a lineup of games or something. But do you really need a showcase for that?
yeah.
Like, what are you showing?
I don't know. It's also incredibly weird since we were supposed to hear about Saints Row 5, which we know is in development. Like, we were supposed to hear and see like the first time reveal of it last year. And well, we're in June now, and June 2021. Still haven't seen it or heard of the official reveal. So, and
I
we know
had no
it's
idea there was a Saints Row 5 game coming.
and we know it's in development straight from Volition themselves, but like, we don't know what it's about or haven't seen any of the for it, and we were supposed to see it last year. So
Right. Like the only games they have listed under like Koch Media is Agents of Mayhem, Dead Island, Homefront: The Revolution, Risen 3 Titan Lords, the Metro series, and then Saints Row. So what are you having a showcase to show off? Are you doing another Agents of Mayhem? I feel like that game did not do well, although it is
no.
the G.I. Joe game that I always wanted.
Agents of Mayhem was done by Volition and was meant to be like a spin-off of Saints Row, but it did not.
Right. But I'm saying it's under Koch Media. Like if you
Yeah.
go to their webpage, that's one of the games that's under them. So like unless they're bringing something out with that, if they're doing something else with the Metro series, I know the Metro Last Light is it's got the PS5 version I believe came out, the
Yeah,
PS5, the Xbox,
it's out.
like all
Yeah.
that came out. So are you announcing another new thing for that? If Dead Island is not going to be there, are we doing more with Homefront? Are we going to announce
God, I
Saints Row
hope
5?
not.
Like
Homefront
it's
Revolution was
just
bad. It was not good.
I don't know. I honestly I have no idea what they could be showing.
Like, I
It's
don't
just really weird.
understand. It's like the WB thing. So like, there's a WB showcase thing with E3, but for Summer Game Fest there's also a WB thing, and according to Jeff Keighley, the Summer Game Fest WB thing is just Back for Blood. So like, I don't know. Is that also only what we're gonna see from WB at E3? Who knows?
Yeah. It's really weird. Really weird. Maybe they're gonna show off Chorus. Because Chorus is deep silver. So maybe that's something they're gonna show. Because that was something that was announced like at when they were announcing Xbox and PS5 and everything. Chorus is one of those games that they announced. So maybe they'll show more of that because that game just kind of disappeared.
I don't remember that game.
Right, it's the game where the chick was like tied to the ship, and it was like a space game. It looked really weird, like it looked like a space shooter. But like, yeah, the trailer looked really cool. Like it seemed like it had a really interesting story to it. The chick walked up to the ship, and she was like intertwined with the ship's AI or whatnot. And after that trailer, like we never heard anything else from it. It just kind of disappeared off the face of the map. So maybe they'll show that. I know Chivalry 2 is also a deep silver game, and that's coming soon. So maybe it'll be those games. But other than that, if it's not Dead Island, if it's not Saints Row 5, I don't really know what else they could really be showing.
So on the WB front, I don't know if this is just straight up the E3 list. I know that like Summer Game Fest has their stuff linked, like for example, like the Netflix Geek Week stuff on June 11th, right? Like, and Kotch Primetime. The tagline for that is "We know something you don't know," apparently. So there's that. But they have on June 13th, which is the Sunday where you're supposed to hear from WB. All they have is Back for Blood showcase. So is that all we're hearing from WB then? Because great question. Who knows? With Koch Media, again, who the hell knows what we're seeing? We're in a weird place with this. Like, I don't know what's happening. It's just weird.
Yeah. What do you think, Devon? Anything?
Nah. I will say this. I feel like we should be seeing something about Dead Island. They've been talking about this Dead Island game forever.
My favorite thing
Right.
is every time they're asked about Dead Island, she's like, "We'll show you more when we're ready." So yeah, that game's never coming out. It's also like anytime Ubisoft's asked about Beyond Good and Evil, which by the way, I haven't forgotten about our bet. By the way,
God.
2 years.
They made a bet. I don't even remember the bet.
The bet was if the game's not out by January 1st, 2024, Delvin owes me a game. If it's out before that, I owe Delvin a game. So
that is correct.
Secondly, that game's never coming out. Like the director of that game left. There's been like turmoil and like complaints over the hit record situation with that game. I don't think we're seeing that game ever.
That would make me very sad because I really love that original game and want to see more from it. And what they've shown of it looks so damn cool.
Yeah.
Crazy how long some of these games just kind of sit in gestation.
Yeah.
So crazy. All right, moving right along. Delvin, what you got for us, brother?
Well, apparently Fraxis is working on a turn-based strategy game with Marvel superheroes. It apparently got leaked and it's going to be announced for E3. I'm excited for it because that's right up my alley. A turn-based strategy game with Marvel superheroes sounds awesome.
So just
does it though?
It doesn't sound awesome. I'm not a fan of XCOM, but also just to cut in, I know where this came from, and Jason Schreier made clear he's not sure that this is actually going to be at E3. He says the game is real, but he also says he's not sure that this game will be announced at E3.
Either way, the game is real.
Especially because the Guardians of the Galaxy game is being revealed at E3, and that leaked already, and we know that's happening. So
it's a Guardians of the Galaxy game going to be revealed for who's making it?
Eidos Montreal.
I did not hear about that. That's awesome.
So
I am Groot.
I am
Groot. I like XCOM, so
I'm not really a fan of XCOM. I mean, I'm sure I'll give it a try, but I'm not really like.
I'm so torn about what I want from like superhero games at this point. Like, I definitely don't want turn-based because if it's turn-based, I don't feel like I'm really controlling the character or the abilities in the way that I want to. But I also don't want just to beat 'em up. Like, Avengers was cool, but I'm like, I just don't know that I want that from a superhero game again. I definitely don't want XCOM just because I'm not a turn-based guy. I mean, I think this could be really cool from just a strategy type standpoint with all of the superheroes and being able to utilize all their abilities in a way that can make for really emergent, interesting gameplay. But it's just not for me. So
I
I'm
will
just like,
say this. I do feel like we're going to start getting to that point of oversaturation. Because there are a lot of superhero games coming out with these exact same characters over and over again. You got the Avengers game. You got the one game for Switch that just came out like a couple years, not even a couple years, like a year or two back.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Marvel Alliance, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Then you just having a whole bunch of superhero games coming out in general, like, and a lot of them with the same characters. It's not even like different characters, so it's kind of like.
So, here's my thing. I don't think we'll ever reach saturation because here's the thing: zombie games are still being made on like a tenfold scale. So, like,
yeah, that's true, but that's different when it's not the same characters. Like, this is like, how many games can you play Spider-Man as? Like, do I really want to play Spider-Man still? Do I still want to play Hulk?
You can play as Spider-Man in 2 games currently, and that's Spider-Man 2018. And I'm being sarcastic. I know you can play as Spider-Man in Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, but my point being is like currently, like in the current Marvel games deal, you can play Spider-Man on 2 games, and that's Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Where we'll go from there, sure. Because again, I don't think Spider-Man
he's coming to Avengers.
I don't think he's coming to
Marvel
Avengers.
Strike Force.
I think Avengers I think Avengers is going to get shut down before Spider-Man gets added.
I doubt that.
It is losing money on the day. Like,
it's not going to get. It'll come out, and that'll probably be the last thing that comes for it. But it'll definitely come out. And then, like I said, you've got Marvel Strike Force. You've got this XCOM game that's coming that'll probably have Spider-Man in it in some way, shape, or form. Like, just how many times can I like Devon said, like, it's an oversaturation. Like, how many times can I play as the same Marvel characters beating people up? Like, for honestly, like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, because you start out with the Guardians, like, it felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That's why, like, when you said there's a Guardians of the Galaxy,
like, what are you doing with that? Because I feel like we had that already.
I have no idea what it is, but we know it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It was revealed in 2018 by Jason Schreier, I might add, at Kotaku, while he was still at Kotaku.
And we just had a Guardians of the Galaxy game too
from Telltale, but that was a story-based game. There's I don't know what this Guardians game is, but that's what the Eidos Montreal game is. The thing is I don't think, again, like, yes, playing as the same characters is weird, but like Batman's done well, and Batman's had how many games? Like, I know the next Batman game you're not playing as Batman. Spoiler alert, you will definitely play as Batman at some point in that game. That is exactly how that's going to work.
Are all tied in together.
Yeah.
This is just like onesie twosies. None of it makes sense. It's just like it's another game, so it becomes.
I see what you're saying, but again, I still don't think it's going to reach an oversaturation point because there's stuff for everybody. So.
It's kind of like, here's our Spider-Man. No, here's our Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, here's
our X-Men.
Yeah, like,
here's those X-Men. This is our Captain America, but this is our Captain America. It's just.
Yeah, it's much.
Weird, man.
We'll see.
It's weird.
Again, I don't think Avengers lives past January of next year. I think I think people better get ready to say goodbye. Just so we're clear. Like
they can kill the online portion of that and just keep releasing the story-based DLC because the story in Avengers is fantastic.
But here's the thing: they couldn't, because the way the mission structure is done through the Avengers table, killing the online portion would kill the single player too.
No, it does
I
not
don't
have
think
to
it
kill the
would.
single player at all. I've never once played that game in multiplayer. You don't
You don't
need it.
have
You
to.
can
It's
turn that
always
off.
it's always connected online though.
It's
Whether you
always
have
connected. You could turn that off. It is possible. We have the technology. They could do that.
I think they could. Yeah.
I
They
don't
could
think
shut
so.
down the online servers for it and be like, yeah, this is now just a local game. We're only bringing DLC. We're only bringing story-based DLC. They could very easily shift course and do that.
I don't think they will though. I think they're at the point where Square Enix is going to tell them, "Hey, cut your losses." So
I doubt it.
their local player count on Steam right now is 438 players.
Doesn't
That
matter.
is bad for a game like that.
It doesn't matter.
I wonder what
It
the
just
local
lets you know
player
that you don't
count
need a
is.
multiplayer game for it. It just means that you don't need. It just goes to show that the multiplayer is unnecessary. The story-based
Completely.
game is what was good, and continue on that route because
I
people
love the
like
story-based
the
game.
story. Yeah,
I love it.
you never hear anything bad about that. All you hear is like, "Why am I still playing this game?" It doesn't need to have all the multiplayer stuff that they've thrown on. It doesn't need to be a games as a service type game. Just the story components carried it on its own. It didn't need any of the extra stuff.
Yeah.
But this XCOM game, Delvin's here for it.
I will say this. I would be cool if this was just a Black Panther game. What I mean by that, like, hey, you get to control Wakanda's army forces and like the Dormilaje and stuff like that as a turn-based strategy game, and you kind of like, hey, you can also have Black Panther with you, Shuri and stuff like that. It doesn't sound like that's not what this is going to be, but if they were to go that route, like, hey, make this a Marvel game about one specific character, that would be dope.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
They could, but the thing with XCOM is like, if you're gonna do an XCOM style game, the draw is having more than one Marvel character to control.
But like I said, Wakanda has, so you can use the Dormilaje and all their soldiers as like they fit perfectly in that XCOM format.
Yeah. Use them as your soldiers and your grunts, and then have your hero characters with like Black Panther, bring in Shuri, bring in Winter Soldier for all I care. You know.
Yeah, you can bring in certain characters. White Wolf.
The White Wolf.
I'm
the
literally
White Wolf.
surprised that they didn't change the tagline at the end of the show, from being Captain America. Like when the show tag went, spoilers for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it's not even like a spoiler at this point because I think everybody knew how the show was going to end. But like when Sam obviously picked up the mantle, and the end credits thing changed from being the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier again. I'm very surprised the Winter Soldier didn't change to Captain America and the White Wolf. So
Because he's still the Winter Soldier. That's just the tag that they gave him in Wakanda. That's the only place he's known as the White Wolf is there. But for all intents and purposes, he's still the Winter Soldier.
yeah,
So
it would have been cool.
I don't think that would have made any sense.
Anyways, Loki starts Wednesday.
Also true. That one's going to be bonkers.
Yeah.
Timelines and manipulation. Let's see how that goes.
I'm
I
just
hope they
here
don't
for
pull a
Loki
Ralph
messing
Boner.
stuff up.
I hope they don't pull a Ralph Boner.
Pardon?
Please don't do that.
What? Yeah, they're gonna do Ralph Boner. Of course they're gonna do Ralph Boner. It's Loki. Why would they not do Ralph Boner? The whole point is he's the god of mischief.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't
Also,
do that.
they're doing Lady Loki, and I know that already, so that's cool. And that's not a spoiler, by the way. That's been in the casting news for it. So,
But if you're not looking at the casting news, like me, that is spoiler stuff.
no,
I didn't
it's
know
not.
that.
It is
People
publicly available
don't look
information.
at casting news.
Publicly
Not
available
everybody
information is
follows
not
that kind of
spoilers.
stuff.
Publicly available
Just
information
because
is
it's-
not spoilers.
Oh my
Trust me.
god! But you're spoiling it
Also-
for someone.
I
You're
will say
spoiling
this.
it for somebody who doesn't know that.
Publicly available information is not
I will say
spoilers,
this.
first off.
If-
And second, if you've read a single Loki comic book in any of Marvel's history, Lady Loki is a
You
thing.
realize that the vast majority of the people who watch this MCU stuff do not read comic books. They're here for just the movie adaptations about it. They're just, this is cool. I don't have to read the comic books now. Great.
I will say this: anything you post on the internet is public information. Anybody
But
can
that
access
doesn't mean
it.
the idea of a spoiler is you're spoiling something for somebody who didn't know. So just because it's publicly available doesn't mean everybody and their mom is out there searching for it or looking for it. Not everybody is connected to the internet in that way.
It trended on Twitter when it happened. So
Not
I didn't
everybody
see
has
that.
Twitter. I didn't see that. That didn't trend on Twitter for me. I had no idea.
guess I really earned my tag this week, huh?
You sure in the hell did. God damn it.
I didn't know that at all. I had no clue.
Yeah,
Oh well.
not even. Yeah,
Did he have
never
any
guessed.
inkling of it?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Anytime Haley says no spoilers, it's definitely a spoiler.
Yeah.
Just
if
you hear no spoilers, just go ahead and mute or skip ahead like 30 seconds because it's a spoiler.
See, but then it's a situation where you could deliberately walk yourself into spoilers because sometimes I just don't stop talking. So,
we know that.
This is also true.
So you're better
skip
off
ahead a minute. Skip ahead
you're better
a minute.
off just listening through the whole thing. Secondly, by the way,
here it comes.
No, I'm not spoiling anything in this thing. I'm saying it's a lot better of a situation for me to say no spoilers and spoil something than it would be for someone to say, I'm not racist, but. Because I hate to tell you, if you have to say, I'm not racist, but, you're definitely saying something racist.
That's true. I've heard that before. Heard that recently.
I was going to say.
Episode 200.
I've got a black friend. I'm not a racist.
Oh my God. Like, if you have to say I'm not racist, I hate to tell you, but.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10. You racist or got some racist tendencies.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along. So Horizon. A lot of news has come out about Horizon since that reveal. Some people find it to be good, some people find it to be bad. But one of the most interesting things, in my opinion, is that the Horizon was developed heavily on PS4, with the PS5 serving as almost like a director's cut type of thing. I believe it was like June 2nd, so like a little while after the the state of play went through or whatnot. A lot of interviews, a lot of articles came out, and one of the things that the Benjamin what's his name, McCall, he sat down with Game Informer to discuss some of it, and they said, quote unquote, a lot of the development has taken place on the PlayStation 4, and a lot of the play testing is also done on PlayStation 4. So we are ensuring that owners of that console have a great experience. The game will look fantastic on that console. Naturally, however, the PS5 and its powerful graphics card will have the upper hand. For PlayStation 5, we can go much further. Of course, visually, we can add a lot more detail. Graphically, the rendering technique for the underwater scenes, especially on the PlayStation 5, it has extra details and extra systems. The wave technique is better on the system as well. The lighting on allll on the PlayStation 5 has as much definition, or has much more definition, and we use a special cinematic lighting rig on the PlayStation 4 that is only used in cutscenes, but it's actually used on the PS5 for the entire game. And they have a lot of processing power, so they can just do a lot more with the graphics. So we get all upset about cross-gen and games coming to PS4. But much like PCs, something coming out for a lower end of a PC doesn't necessarily hold back the development of the game on the PS5. Miles Morales in point. Miles Morales looks amazing on PS5. Doesn't feel like it was held back by PS4 at all. The PS4 game runs well, but it doesn't look as good. Like, for example, Miles's hair on the PS5 is completely different than the hair rendering techniques that they use on the PS4 version. Like, Miles's fade looks like my hair. It looks fresh. I love it. It's amazing.
Which
on the PS4,
way, if you play the PS4 version on the PS5, you can definitely still tell the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
As someone who's platinumed the game twice.
Well, remember, I played it originally on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So
it
looked great on the PS4. I had a blast with it on PS4, and it just looked a lot better on PS5. But
Oh,
it didn't look terrible on PS4. I'm like,
no.
looked great.
Yeah.
But you could definitely tell his hair was different on PS5 than it
Yeah.
was on PS4.
So on PS4, because I actually watched a video on it because I'm fascinated by hair in video games. So on the PS4, Miles's hair is actually just like an extension of the rendering for his head. Where on the PS5, his hair is actually 8 strands individually rendered. It's a completely different technique that they can only do on PS5. So you want to think about games being held back? In no way is that happening. Same with Aloy's hair. It took them, I think they said, like a year plus to actually get Aloy's hair done right for PS4 and even longer for PS5. And it's done completely differently on PS5 because of what you can do with all of the rendering and the individual strands and the way the hair reacts on PS5. So like the idea of games being held back when games are given enough time, when developers are given enough time to create the games will not be held back by being cross-gen. So everybody who's all up in arms and pissed off about God of War being on both systems, like you're just gonna, if you have a PS5, you're getting like the definitive experience of the game. If anything, on the PS4, it's just a watered down version, but it's not holding back the next gen. The next gen is still going to be able to take advantage of all the bells and whistles of the PS5, but we're just also enabling the PS4 players who don't have a PS5 to be able to experience the game.
Also,
so
I've seen mentioned people going, well, loading corridors are definitely going to be built into the game. Then I'm like, did you play Miles Morales on the PS5?
Yeah.
Because the loading corridors that exist in that game don't exist on the PS5.
There's no loading corridor.
Like on the PS4 version, there's definitely a loading corridor. Like you exit or enter a base and there's a loading screen. But you play that same base on PlayStation 5, you can enter and exit that base without a loading screen at all. So
yeah. Look at Ghost of Tsushima. There's no loading in that game at all.
That game
ever
at all.
I love that
It's
they
ridiculous.
had to come out and say, "Hey, we had to slow the loading down because it was too fast."
Yep. We had to artificially make the screen like when you come back from dying screen. We had to artificially make that longer because it loaded too fast for you to be able to see the little tooltips.
Yeah.
I don't care about them tooltips. Get me back in the game, bruh. Nobody cares about them tooltips. Nobody's reading that. Get me back in the game.
My favorite thing is you could turn the train fast travel thing back on PS5, but it's off by default because the game just loads so fast.
I leave it on, by the way. I put it on because I like to see them on the train and stuff. I
didn't turn it on in the PS5 version, but like, there's no option to turn it off on the PS4 version, so I definitely saw them. But game loads quick.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish we could get off this, PS4 holding things back or being so upset. It definitely sucks when it's like one of their main things was we believe in generations and all that stuff to really try to get you hype and excited for PS5 and what they would only be able to do on the PS5 when come to find out like that's not necessarily the case. We're able to make these games on PS4, and I guess with COVID and everything that happened with development and things just taking longer, it allows them to take the time they need to be able to develop games for both systems. So with Gran Turismo 7, God of War, Horizon, and probably plenty of other games, you're going to be able to see the PS4 version and the PS5 version, and neither is going to be felt like it's being dampened or held back by being, developed for both. You're able to take advantage of the bells and whistles on PS5 and still being able to deliver a quality experience of the game on PS4.
I know that I'm a crazy person, but also I'll be able to platinum Horizon Forbidden West twice. So.
Well, let's be honest. We're still only in year one. Mm-hmm. Like, we still got a long way to go before we start really seeing everything these consoles have to offer and what really the PS5 can do and how far they get along with it till we get to that point where, hey, the PS4 can't do this. This is amazing. We're still in just year one. It's going to take time for us to get into the things where we're like, holy crap, this is amazing. And it's amazing to us now. So imagine 4 years from now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, again, NDAs and all that. Like, I obviously haven't signed any, but like Imran Khan while I was watching like a Fanbyte stream, because that's where Imran Khan is now, is over at Fanbyte, and mentioned there were a bunch of games coming to PlayStation 5 real soon that look real jaw-droppingly pretty. So
Yeah. And with that, I mean, we can just transition right into like our topic of the week, and that is the Herman Hulst interview, the Q&A that he did with the PlayStation blog, their the podcast, the PlayStation Blogcast.
yep.
It's funny because the main takeaway from that everybody was up in arms about was God of War being delayed. But there's so much more in that interview.
My favorite thing, by the way, is how Hollywood Bones tagged me afterwards and goes, "I was still holding out hope, but I guess I should have listened to Haley all year long." And I'm like, I'm not the only one you should have been listening to. Literally everyone in the industry was saying that game was not coming out this year. Like,
no one in their right mind thought that was coming out this year.
No one thought that was coming out this year. All we saw was a 30-second like Ragnarok is coming and snow across the screen, and then the Omega symbol. Like,
yeah, it's so ridiculous that people are so up in arms. I mean, and I get it. If you're not somebody who's deep in the industry and paying attention to everything, then all you saw was it 2021 God of War. You know? But when you actually are paying any attention and you look at everything that's happening and the different delays and how long it's taking people to develop games because they're not in the studio, they're working from home, they're trying to coordinate all of that stuff, everything just takes longer. That's just the nature of working in, this environment in these years and this times of what's going on.
And case in point, no one wants a cyberpunk situation either. And let me just remind y'all, it's been 156 days. Cyberpunk 2077 still isn't on the PlayStation Store. So,
Yeah. And with that Imran Khan thing, it's like in the interview, Herman said, we have a lot going on right now. PlayStation Studios have more than 25 titles in development. Almost half of these are new IP. The other half, they're titles in a set franchise that PlayStation fans already know and love. So it's quite a lot. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of stuff coming. And I mean, there's 25 titles in development. That doesn't mean those are all 25 are coming this year, next year, the year after. Exactly. These could be things that are like far, far down the line. But the fact that we're going to get at least 12 to 15 games that are going to be brand new IPs is really exciting. Now, some of these may be indie titles. They may not be big AAA experiences, but the fact that you have that many games coming and being developed for PlayStation 5 through PlayStation Studios is exciting. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming. And like Devon said, we're in year one. Year one, and we've gotten some really, really amazing stuff. I mean, you look at Miles Morales and how well that game looks and runs. The fact that there's a 60 frames per second ray tracing mode. You also have a 4K 60 ray tracing mode coming to Ratchet and Clank. Like, that's just crazy.
Which, again,
and this is all in year one.
If you're listening to this the day the podcast came out, if the game is preloaded on your console already, the patch will have already downloaded for you. So
yep, there was a patch that came out last night to give you that. So you get a performance 60 frames per second ray tracing. Like, there's so many. The system is capable of so much, and the developers are learning so much. And I think the fact that everything is delayed and taking that much more time is giving developers even more time to understand the ins and outs of the system. So we may get better looking, better playing games sooner than we would have in previous generations because everything is taking so much longer and they're being granted that time to actually work. Like, one of the things that he was saying in the interview was that they would much rather push something back to make sure that the quality of the game is good rather than try to hit a date, So I think that's really important. They don't want their studios to have to crunch or to do anything to hit a date. They want to give them the time that they actually need to make the games. And that is something that's really important. When you think about how up in arms everybody is about crunch culture and people being forced to work ridiculous long hours to hit a date, and then the game still not being in good shape, looking at you, Cyberpunk. Like, they did all of that and the game still came out broken. So was it worth it in the end? Probably not.
No, that's another thing too, is like, remember, we didn't have a date for Miles Morales until August last year. So that's why they've said Horizon is on track for 2021, but we're not quite sure we can hit that yet. We will let you know as soon as we know. And again, when PlayStation holds their next event, I think we'll know whether or not it's coming this year. So,
Yep. I mean, the biggest thing to me is when Herman says, "But I can tell you, we are not going to risk the quality. We want to ship extremely high quality games, finished games, and we have to do that obviously without pushing our teams to the breaking point." Like, that's important.
oh,
You don't want to burn out your teams.
While we're on this topic, don't be sending death threats to devs on Twitter either, especially ones that include rape threats. Hi, yes, I'm referencing the tweet Alana Pierce put out. Like, that shit's disgusting. Don't be sending death threats and rape threats to devs on Twitter because a game got delayed or a game's coming out on PS5. Like, that entire tweet was like, I hope you get blanked. I'm not saying it for... I've said it twice already. I'm not going to say it again. But you know what I'm referencing. I hope you get for the game coming out on PS5. And then Cory Barlog had to be like, hey, I made the decision. Like, why are you attacking my dev team? And also don't be attacking anyone for it. Like, okay, It was a business decision. Who cares? Don't be sending death and R-word threats to developers on Twitter. Like, good God, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, we're losing our humanity. Stop it. Be kind. Whatever happened, if you don't have nothing nice to say, just don't say nothing.
Hi, the internet took that away when they gave people the power of being anonymous.
So many small lessons you're taught in life as a child that we just continue to ignore as adults, as Devon so put earlier.
Yeah. Let me just also say that's not me saying being anonymous is a bad thing. Like, there are definitely situations where being anonymous is a good thing, but there are that small section of people out there who take being anonymous as an excuse to be an absolutely shitty person. Like, just don't do that. So,
don't say anything you wouldn't be willing to get punched in the face over. That's my motto.
That should be your motto. Yeah, 100%.
You say some shit like that to me, I'm punching you in your face. Point blank.
Extremely valid.
So shifting back to the games.
I mean, it was a valid games topic, but it had to do with the delay. So
he also talks about PC fitting into the worldwide and PlayStation view of things moving forward. They're still early on planning on PC, which is again why I said it's not going to be a seismic shift. It's going to be something slow. He talks about, Japan studios and how important they still are, and that, them shutting down that stuff and then absorbing everything into Asobi doesn't mean that they're putting off, the Japanese studios. He says, oh no, I want to be very clear that Japanese games and Japanese talent remain extremely important to PlayStation studios and Sony Interactive Entertainment. Japan and Asia are strongly associated with our legacy. The success of Sony, the PlayStation brand, and many of our iconic PlayStation franchises were actually born in that region. So again, there's just so many more takeaways from this and things that they are doing. Like, PlayStation seems to be, going in the right direction. I really wish we could see more of Herman than we do of Jim Ryan. I think Herman is a much better face for PlayStation, and they need to embrace that and have him out in front a lot more and have him more of as a talking head to give us insight into what's going on in PlayStation. He is that guy. Like, if they want to have somebody like an Uncle Phil, Herman would be that dude. And they need to start. I wish that they would start to lean into that more instead of always Jim Ryan.
The problem is that's what PlayStation wanted to get away from. Is they didn't want a talking head. They never.
Get it.
They never liked the Shuhei as the front runner or Sean Layden either. They didn't like them being talking heads. And that's an unfortunate thing because Sean Layden was great at it. Shuhei was great at it. But Jim Ryan is not.
I just look at it like this. You may not want something, but that's not necessarily what's best for business. And sometimes having that talking head helps you a lot. Even in terms of imagine if going back in the day when the whole PlayStation outage thing happened. And you didn't have nobody in front of you talking constantly hey, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, this is what's going on. Imagine if this Sony was out there during that time, it would be a nightmare.
You
In
mean the
terms of-
Sony that
Mhm.
was? They didn't tweet anything for 3 weeks after they mentioned the network
Yeah.
was going down. It was the exact same Sony. It's the same Sony we've always been dealing with.
But you had people talking. You had people talking a lot more than they talk now. Even after that moment, they don't talk now at all. They talk when they want to tell you stuff now, and that's
Okay.
it.
And that's exactly what they did when the network outage happened. Like, I don't know what you're referencing.
They were talking during the network hours. They were telling you certain things. They had to talk because it was just a bad situation when that network outage happened. That was just a crap show in terms of like, hey, our system's down. It's not working. Oh, this is gonna be a longer thing. And even after, I hope really they make a documentary of everything that happened with that because there's a lot of stuff that went into that whole process and stuff like that. Well, Sony doesn't have to necessarily make it, but somebody should.
I mean,
Yeah.
No Clip is
No
great
Clip.
at video game is great at video game documentaries. But again,
Yeah.
for business protection reasons, I don't think we'll ever get one on the outage. It would be like doing a documentary, and I actually like this might even be a different situation, but I'm honestly surprised there isn't one yet about the blackout in New York in 2004. Like, I'm very surprised there's not one about what
I
happened.
feel like there is something about that.
Because remember, that blackout happened in New York, and it took out most of Ontario's power too, because we give each other power. Like New York State,
I don't
Ontario,
even know what you guys are talking about.
you don't. Well, again, West Coast, but like in 2004, there was an outage at a power station along the Niagara River, and it took out power to like half of New York and most of Ontario. So, like, it was.
I barely remember yesterday. I definitely don't remember 2004.
I remember it because we had no power for 4 days. I was 9. It was not fun.
I can imagine. But yeah, like you said, Devon, they need to talk more. Like one of the biggest things that hits on Sony is that they never talk. We never really know what's going on. This interview was really good, and if we could get more stuff like that, I think a lot of PlayStation fans and even the haters would be like, okay, Sony actually is doing stuff. Like knowing that there's 25 games in development, knowing that they push games because they're trying to make sure they get quality, that they're not just axing, Japan studios. Just letting fans know what's going on, giving a better idea of what's happening with PlayStation and the directions that they're going in is important, especially when it's juxtaposed next to Xbox, where they're always talking. Like Xbox doesn't stop talking about what's going on with Xbox, and you have Sony. And I know that it's a cultural thing from, Japanese and Japan and where they started from. Like part of the thing is like we're gonna hold it close to the chest until we're ready to tell you something, and Nintendo does the same thing. And I know that culturally that's where they're at, but I think that the shift to talking more could benefit them a lot more than nothing. Like the fact that they're able to say, yeah, Bend is working on a new IP, instead of everybody being in limbo wondering what is Bend doing. Are they working on Days Gone 2? Or is that studio getting shuttered? But the fact that they were finally able to be like, yeah, they're working on a new IP. Like that's information they could have put out a while ago. But the fact that we now know that's happening is so much more beneficial to Bend and to PlayStation, because now people aren't sitting there upset or wondering or like what's going on.
Keep in mind, by the way, the public official announcement from Bend and from Sony Santa Monica did not go live until this interview went live.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. All it takes is just talking. It's not that hard. You don't have to even tell everything you want to do. Just like, hey, they're working on this. You don't even say what it is. They're working on something. Yeah. We have something coming up. But if you just sit here and leave us in the dark, people are going to speculate. People are wondering their own things and make their own assumptions. And sometimes people speculate. They make their assumptions fact, which is not true.
Yeah. Yep, because then you get everybody who's anybody talking about how Sony is quiet and what are they doing? They must not be working on anything. Things must be bad. Anytime anybody goes silent for too long, they automatically assume things are bad. Things aren't going well. Something must be happening.
It's the same thing with, I'm pretty sure the Ratchet and Clank embargo is the 8th. I don't have insider information. I just I know there's 47 trophies, and I'm making the extrapolation that Greg Miller has 89 hidden trophies on his profile, and standardly, Greg has 42 hidden trophies on his profile, and that's because he used to cheat for that game.
How
The
the
look on
hell do
your
you
face,
know that?
Delvin.
So
The look on your
so
face. Oh my God,
currently,
priceless.
I am extrapolating that Greg Miller has potentially platinumed that game. I'm sure we'll find out on Tuesday. That's also the rumored embargo date that I've been seeing go around. Also, Delvin, you asked, how do I know this? Hi, a little website called psnprofiles.com. So it's very useful for trophy hunters. You can also look at other people's profiles. I like to, judge how I'm doing, in comparison to others. Like Greg Blessing also has his profile like
How many
private right
platinums
now.
he have? How many platinums
can't-
Blessing?
You can't look at Blessing's trophies right now. They're
Damn,
private,
I thought
which
you
is
but you
generally
knew
what
Hasn't
Greg
he-
off the top of your head. That's what I'm like. How did you know that?
well, I know Greg's hidden trophy count number off the top of my head because Greg's talked about it on several podcasts. And when you go to someone's PSN profile, if they have hidden trophies, beside where, like, if they're a premium member like I am, you'll have a gold little P on your profile that says, like, premium member. Beside it, there would be a blue square with an H in it that stands for hidden trophies. And if you hover over it, it will tell you how many trophies that user has hidden. So it tells you that stats are adjusted accordingly. So currently, Greg Miller has 89 hidden, and he standardly has 42. Again, that's extrapolation,
Yeah, I'm with
but
you,
it's
Delvin.
also
with
the
you.
rumored embargo date that I've seen. Who knows? I don't know. Just I don't know what point I was trying to make with this. So I got on a trophy.
I don't know either. But if you want to take
But-
take half of this energy that you had on that stuff you just said now and invest in some stocks, we all could be rich right now.
I don't have any money to invest in stocks. You need money to invest in stocks. Also, I'm not Elon Musk.
AMC stocks were $5 at one point.
Delvin. Let's not forget, I have to pay the rent and do the groceries and pay all the regular household
But
bills
if you
this month.
flip that AMC stock, you could have paid the rent.
Hi, I
The other
can't
stuff.
afford to buy 100 shares of
$5.
AMC at
They were
$5.
$5. You need 100 shares. I made. Oh, let me not say it on the podcast. No, never mind.
Y'all wondering how Delvin got that CX, the LG CX TV?
No, I
making
mean,
that money
hey,
off
Delvin
them
flat
stocks.
out said how he got the CX. Like, or as Delvin described it, fuck off money. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
but no, like, I couldn't afford to drop the money on stocks because I got to do everything this month. This will not be an issue next month, which is nice, but we've already taken care of it. But this month, everything's on me, my friend. I did not have enough money to drop on stocks to make it worth it. Buying one $5 share of AMC, even at the profit of 243%, I think is where AMC stock topped out the other day. That's $67. That's not worth it.
See,
that's not worth it.
That's the energy right there. See, she
Exactly.
knows us. I had no idea.
That's what I'm talking about.
Clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is a great place to put a pin in all of that. We've been going on for about 2 hours now, getting a little long in the tooth. So
actually, we're
we can go
over
ahead
2
and wrap
hours.
this up. Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap this episode up. Sony is letting us know things, and that is important for all of us Sony fans. PlayStation seems like it's going down a good road, and E3 is around the corner. We got Ratchet and Clank this week. We got Final Fantasy VII Intergrade this week. Things are moving and shaking.
Before we forget, I remember the point I was trying to make. I brought up the review thing because it's the same thing when people don't see reviews until like the day before a product. They always assume the game is bad.
Yeah.
That's the point I was trying to make after my long-winded thing about extrapolating how many hidden trophies Greg Miller has to assume that he has Ratchet.
The look on
Clank.
Delvin's face was so good. It's like, how do you, what the?
That was some
Trophies.
Rain Man shit.
Like, trophies.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for episode, what is this, 86?
I think so, yes. I can check. 1 sec.
80-something.
86.
Yes, it is 86 because last week was 85.
That'll do it for episode 86 of the PlayStation Podcast. We hope you enjoyed PlayStation Experience, not PlayStation Podcast. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Please feel free to holler at us. Give us a follow over on the Twitters at PlayStation XP. Stop by the blog at psvg.blog or the Discord at psvg.blog/Discord and join us for all of our shenanigans there. It's going to be popping because it's E3 week. So there is lots of information just flooding around. People are excited, getting ready for basically what is known as Gamer Christmas, because this is when we get all of our news and all of the things that are typically coming in the pipeline for the fall and beyond. So come kick it on the Discord. Delvin, that means you too. Last but not least,
you know that's not happening. He'll pop in 8 hours later with like news that we've already had
the same news,
right?
Yes.
He's conversation with.
Yes,
he is fantastic at that.
Y'all hear this PS5 thing's coming out soon?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but last but not least, you can join us over or come be a part of our Patreon at patreon.com/PSVG. Where for only $3 a month, you get just a slew of additional content. We have stuff like our Sweet Hangs podcast. It comes out early for patrons, and then you get it on Wednesday. So yeah, just check out our Patreon.
When we went live.
Yeah, I don't know if they're having an episode later this afternoon. I think they are.
Donnie on vacation?
I don't know if he's back or not yet, but there may be an episode coming this week, later today on Twitch. So check out the Patreon. And with that in mind, I'd like to give a thank you to our producers, Michael Masick, Barry Cathcart, Edwin Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Root Days 93, Ben Boxham, Rob Emanuel, Nick Farber, Paul Kellicote, Kyle Heyman, Grouchy Surge, myself, Josh the Bone Saw Barboni, RJ Kern, Horse Grill 69, Zachary Adams, and Joseph Wilson. Thank you all for joining us in the journey that is PSVG. With that in mind, Haley, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me over on Twitter at Shepard Zarel. Just activism and, I would say shit posts, but I feel afraid to do that. And several people know why now, but we won't bring that up here. Generally just like me tweeting random nonsense as well about games and stuff. You can find me on your game platform of choice at Haley Zarel. Again, if you're going to add me, just please send me a message letting me know who you are. Like, it's so helpful because sometimes and again, like if you want to keep your trophies private, that's fine. That's up to you. That's fine. I just need to know where you got my username from. So that's all. If you got it from the podcast, just say, hey, podcast. Like, it's not hard. I generally won't add people that just send me a blank friend request. So,
facts.
You can find me on twitch.tv/HaleyZarel. Again, I need to get settled into the job. Now that I have one, before I have like a defined schedule for you. And then again, as Dev and Delvin like to say that I'm keeping Tumblr alive, but I'm not the only one over there. If you want to follow my shenanigans on Tumblr, it's still mostly Lucifer. Yesterday, I was reblogging a bunch of stuff about Teen Wolf because it was the 10th anniversary of the pilot episode. Loads of shenanigans going on over there. Ship posts, Lucifer, Teen Wolf, the Vampire Diaries, anything. So it all happens over there. So.
Tumblr. Special. Yeah. Lord. What about you, Devon? Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Devon_Cox. Check out the Devon Cox Experience anywhere you get podcasts.
There you have it. Sweet, simple, and to the point. And you can find me at Dad Ninja Dev pretty much everywhere. Come follow me on Twitter, talk some trash, ask some questions, and just generally, hang out. It's all good. So, with that, long live play.
PlayStation